Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ankit, and if you are preparing for Accenture, this is exactly how your 2026 interview process will look like. I will be talking about real questions, real rounds, and the mistake that get most candidates rejected. So this is based on multiple real interview experiences from candidates across platforms like LeetCode, Reddit, and Glassdoor, and it is combined with the patterns I've personally observed. So let's break it down step by step. Make sure you stick till the end of the video to get a complete picture of how the interview process looks like, and what mistakes you should avoid. So first round will be your online assessment. This is where a lot of people get filtered out. It usually has three sections, which are aptitude, logical reasoning, where you will be asked basic quantitative and time and work percentages and puzzles. So this will be your aptitude and logical reasoning. Then second part can be your coding rounds, which can have two coding questions. The difficulty would be easy to medium. Some of the questions which were reported by candidates are: find the first non-repeating character in a string, check if two strings are anagrams, and you can find other array-based problems like moving zeros or finding duplicates. So the important thing here is that your code should be optimized, and you shouldn't write brute force approach for these questions, because it may pass some test cases, but it will not pass all the test cases and you might fail here. So you need to learn how to write optimal code within the given time complexity so that it passes all the test cases. And the third can be English or communication test, where they check your basic grammar, sentence correction, comprehension. uh, it is optional. It can be sometimes there, sometimes not, but majorly you will have a coding round and you can have a aptitude logical reasoning round. The round two would be technical interview. This is the most important round. It's usually moderate difficulty but not very hard, and they will check your fundamentals deeply. So here you can get DSA questions with medium level difficulty, easy to medium, or medium little hard. So the questions like reverse a linked list, find the largest element in an array, do some variation, check palindrome string. So these are the questions which are reported by most candidates, and they may ask you to explain your approach first and then the code. They can also ask you on OOPS concepts, which are very commonly asked almost in every interview. So you can get questions like: what is inheritance, difference between abstraction, polymorphism, encapsulation, all these things. What are the real life examples of polymorphism? So they will be expecting simple, clear answers and not textbook definitions. So you should be clear with these concepts so that you can explain to them and give examples when required. They will also be asking questions on DBMS questions. Uh, DBMS is basic but also important. So you can expect questions like: what is normalization, difference between inner join, left join, what is primary key, what is foreign key. You can also expect questions on operating systems and networking. So these are also very basic fundamental concepts like DBMS हो गया, OS and networking हो गया. So all these and OOPS. So these 3-4 concepts you should be well versed with, and you should be ready to answer anytime. So ये तो एकदम, just make sure you have it ready, you have it memorized all the questions, and DSA you keep on solving day by day to improve it. So in OS and networking, you can get asked process versus thread. What happens when you type a URL in the browser? TCP, UDP, uh, HTTPS, HTTP, all those basic networking questions and OS questions. Then based on your resume, they can also get into the project discussion. This is where many candidates struggle. So they can ask: explain your projects, what challenges did you face, what was your role, what did you contribute. So you need to be very clear and confident here. This part will make or break your interview. Okay. Then after the technical round, you can expect a round three, which will be an HR interview. This round is mostly about communication and cultural fit, where you can expect questions like: tell me about yourself, why you want to join Accenture, are you open to relocation, Where do you see yourself in 5 years? So here they are not trying to trick you, they are just checking your clarity and your confidence. So, based on multiple real life experiences, the difficulty level of these interviews and these rounds is easy to moderate. Selection depends heavily on communication and your fundamentals. Many candidates get rejected due to poor explanation and lack of knowledge. So, if you are going for this interview at Accenture, make sure your basics are strong and your explanations are good and clear so that the interviewers understand what you're trying to say. So, the common mistakes which people make are jumping into coding without explaining the approach. So whenever you are asked a DSA question, you need to explain the approach first with, and you don't have to directly jump into the coding part. So that is the mistake where most people make. So you need to talk how. So you can talk about the brute force approach first. Give its time complexity, its space complexity. Tell them it is not optimal, and I want to think of an optimal approach. Then after some thinking, you can tell them the optimal approach, and you can ask them if this is good enough and I can proceed with the coding or not. Take a small example, do a dry run on it with the optimal approach, and then start coding. Don't just directly jump into it. The next problem could be uh, your OOPS or DBMS concepts are very weak. So that could be a mistake which you make. So it's better to learn these concepts and have a clear understanding of the basics. Basically, they won't go in that much depth, but yeah, OOPS may all the four pillars you need to know what all they do, how you can use them in coding, and DBMS may all these concepts of your tables, joins, primary key, foreign key you should be knowing. Then the next mistake can be poor project explanation and lack of confidence while speaking. So these mistakes can get you rejected, so you should work on them. Then final tips from my side would be that if you're preparing right now, you should focus on practicing 20 to 30 basic DSA questions. You should revise OOPS and DBMS fundamentals, and you should also prepare on your project explanation properly. So you can try having a mock interview with your friend where you explain your project to him, which will get you more clarity on your project and how you should explain it. It will just basically give you practice of when this question is asked in the real interview, you will be able to explain it properly. If you want more real life interview experiences like AWS, IBM, TCS, please subscribe to the channel and comment which company you want next. I will cover that in detail. So thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.